What's up, guys? So today what I want to talk about basically centers around reducing RNG. So we're going to talk about reducing RNG from your light dark eggs specifically, and we're going to talk about reducing RNG for your gem slots. Now this is coming on the heels of a massive update, and I really wasn't going to do the gem reduction because I had no reason to actually pay for the Tina support package until I decided to do the first portion of this video, which is reducing your light dark your RNG for your light dark monsters, or summoning for your monsters. So yeah, reducing RNG. So if you don't know what RNG is, guys, so that, I think it stands for like random number generator. I think it's a gambling term, and it basically equates to kind of like luck of the draw. So in games like this, where you summon and then you have a random chance of getting something, you do something and you have a random chance of getting something, and in these type of games you have another random chance of getting something else. For this, whenever we summon, we have a random chance of getting a monster in this whole pot of monsters, and you know, they all have different probabilities assigned to whether we get nat 3, 4, 5, with the nat 5s have extremely low probability. But yeah, and then after we summon a monster, we also have a random chance of getting you know, the different arrangement of gem slots. So RNG is you know, pretty built into this game, and generally there's really nothing you can do about it. So what we have to do is kind of find ways to reduce RNG to make it more likely that we can get what we want. So, you know, for me, there are probably two things in this game that I really want that I haven't gotten. One of them is a water Persephone, and the other one is either a light dark nat 5 that I summoned, not one that was you know, given to us by the game. So what this video is going to be is basically you guys get to see me try and reduce my RNG to get either light or dark nat 5, and you can decide if you want to do the same thing in the future, and then you're gonna see me mess that up, and well, not mess it up, but actually have to put money in because well, I got something good, it also was kind of bad too. So yeah, so just getting into the video, as you guys can see, if you go into the crystal shop, most people tend to buy the gleam packages every month. So if you're doing the Heroes Festival and the Clans Festival, as you do those 10+ summons, you start to build up crystals, and then you reinvest those crystals into you know, something in the crystal shop. So, you know, generally what people do is they put them into gleams. I found that I don't really have enough monsters that I need to gleam immediately, so I've decided I'm willing to kind of hold off on getting my monthly gleams, you know, from PvP, you know, from either doing my PvP challenges or doing the monthly getting the monthly Holy Gleam reward and doing my TOC clears. So those are enough. I found that I think those are enough gleams for me at this point in the game. So that means that I can reinvest my crystals into something else. And in this video, as you guys can see, I decided to reinvest into the dark egg. So the dark egg, the light and dark eggs here, that's part of the reduction of RNG, because in our normal high eggs, what we end up getting, we have a chance of getting either a nat 3 to nat 5 monster, and as you guys you guys know, we mostly end up getting colts or wolves or cosmos, those yes, and pins as well these days. So, you know, there's an overabundance, I think, of nat 3s in the high light dark eggs, and you know, I've never been able to summon a nat 5 light dark. So, you know, for me, I've decided to maybe cut out those Nat3s and see if I can end up getting a Nat5. And I didn't, as you guys can see. But the summon was actually still pretty good. I ended up getting the Dark Mandragora. Unfortunately, she did not come with a square slot. So, you know, monsters that don't come with a square slot, it's not always, you know, kind of like a death sentence. Doesn't mean that they're not usable, but unfortunately with a monster like the Dark Mandragora, who her skills, both of her skills require crit rate, it's almost essential to actually have a square slot, in my opinion, because if you don't crit, then her skills are useless, and then she's also a dark monster, so you don't get to use her extra 50% crit damage. So you pretty much have to do everything you can to get her to 100% crit rate. Unfortunately, with the summon that I had this time, that wasn't a possibility. So I did decide to go ahead and invest in the Tina support package. And I think that if you want to invest in the Tina support package, I guess the scenarios that you would do that in would be like this one, where the monster skill requires crit rate, or you did not have the opportunity to choose the monster that you wanted to invest in. So guys, if you have like something like a Fire Leo, right, and you actually will have you will summon a ton of Fire Leos, you'll be able to buy Fire Leo stones in the shop. You do not have to settle on building a Fire Leo that does not have a square. Just wait until you get one, at least 1 or 2 squares, and you're good. This, unfortunately, is a different story, where the monster is pretty much, I can't pick, there's no way to pick a better Mandragora, and even if I did have a second Mandragora, I would not get rid of this one. So I think that's probably the best scenario to actually invest in the Tina package, if you're okay with doing that, is when you absolutely have no other choice in the matter. There are some monsters who I think it's actually fine to have them without a square slot. I think like the aggressors, it's fine. I don't think they're dark aggressors. I have a Dark Sea Star. My first Dark Sea Star did not have a square slot, and I think he's just as good as the second one I got later on, who did have a square slot. So, you know, there's some monsters I think you can get away with not having a square slot, but in the case of monsters whose skills require crit rate, it's a lot more difficult. So yeah, guys, so you guys got to see me do my egg summon. You can think about investing your crystals either in the light dark eggs that will guarantee either a Nat4 or a Nat5. The other thing is there's an egg which will guarantee a Nat5 if you invest your crystals into that. So those are really the prime ways to reduce RNG and kind of get closer to what you want. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think of and you guys got to see me do a square slot change, so I think that's fun. If you were thinking about doing it and you didn't know how, there you go. But yeah, so let me know, guys, what you think about the new Tina support package. What do you guys think about reducing your egg RNG? And I will see you in the next video.